that off correctly because I don't know if you were picking up on that chick, but it was just like
Yeah, she
it
was-
weirded me the fuck out,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what else to do.
Well, and like I said, she introduced me to some other people up there. Like I ended up talking to John and stuff. We talked about like improv.
Good
and
dude,
shit.
John is a cool ass dude, and
He is
I
cool.
regret I went ahead and quit classes actually. I'm not
Oh,
going
did you?
back. Yeah, I'm not going back.
Oh.
I just left a bad taste in my mouth.
That sucks. Well, and,
Can I
and
tell
like
that
she,
CBD?
and she's like from Chicago. Like she ain't even part of that whole thing.
I know, but it just kind of hit me because, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I got really fucking pissed off the next day, and I was just like really hating improv. So I was looking up all this shit on it about like, because look, I'll be honest with you, it's like so it's like it's like I'll just sum it up. I don't want to get into the details, but it's like in looking it up, I realized it's like okay, improv is more acting in a way, and I know everything's performance based because. I boiled it back down to this. Comedy is three things, okay? You have sketch, you have stand-up, you have improv. I always knew that I wanted to do stand-up. I wanted to give improv a try because I did love the Matt Besser shit. And, but then I realized, though, after that thing, and, because that girl forced me, I just, like I said, I got pissed off, I started looking up shit, and then looking it up, I realized that it's just like I got no reason to be mad at improv. That's stupid. It's like there's so many different kinds of improv, and it's just like it's just one person. I realize there's this hoity-toity attitude that prevails through some like improv people. Like, but it seems like it's a small number, but there is like this like catty back and forth between like a little group of like improv just thinking that they're hot shit. But I mean, look, I would say that about like I'm sure there's stand-up comedians because I found this guy who was ripping on improv people.
But don't you feel like there's anybody in anything they do get a little bit like an ego? Like like there's
no, for sure. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Is it was just one bad experience, but that forced me to like look at like what am I trying to accomplish? And it truly wasn't. I don't want to be an ensemble. I don't want to sound like a douchebag, but it's just like I do want the whole stage. Like I want to do stand up. I just wanted to learn how to pick up some improv so that I could roll with the punches. But it's like I found a book that is so I got another improv book that somehow the dude, it was somebody Stephen Colbert worked with or whatever because he did the forward in the book, but it has like exercises you can do by yourself to help train that like improv muscle. Mm-hmm. So that's how I'm looking at it now, and that's why I ended up like ultimately quitting the classes. It wasn't because of her; it's because I want to do stand up.
It sucks that she put a bad taste in your mouth, and she was being bitchy because like it happened that one time, and I was like, okay, because I was even kind of like weirded out by it.
I was wondering if
well, then the
anybody else
second
was
time,
picking
like,
up on that.
oh yeah, I did. And then the second time, that other chick picked up, like, she was like getting in on it too, and I was just like, why is she putting him down? Like, we're sitting here being vulnerable, and I thought this was like a place where you could do that and be cool. And she was like, oh, you don't have to do that. I'm just like, what? It didn't make any sense to me, but I mean, but like I said, at least you tried it.
I got a class in.
Dude,
I got to experience.
At least you
it.
tried it, because that's more than what I can say for now.
Yeah.
And like to each their own, like you said, it's like you don't have to be an ensemble. Like Randy was saying, I've heard stand-up comedians like bash the improv scene and how they're like in their own little echo chamber. Like,
Yeah.
But they all think they're so great with each other.
They
and
do.
It's like,
I've noticed that with a lot of stuff, but I feel like with stand-up comedy, I feel like some of the best stand-up comedians have a little bit of improv in them as well.
But yeah, but look, I'll just say this: it's like without ever taking an improv class, it's like I'm pretty fly, I'm
still
pretty
think on your
fast on the
feet,
yeah. I can think quick, and it's like then it hit me. It's like because for a while, I thought this is what everybody did, as far as it's just like everybody plays Harold, everybody follows, but that's specific to because even in talking to Mallory that night, it's like there's a lot more to improv than just improv, and it branches out in different ways. I mean, the simplest is long form versus short form, but I thought long form was all its own thing, but there's even branches of long form.
yeah, I didn't even know that.
And so, but I'm not saying I won't try to get in the future, because I probably will, because it was fun, but yeah, you're being vulnerable. And it was just so weird. Like, that was the first time like reaching out creatively. And I was literally just looking for genuine feedback. This is just how I am. Like, I can't help but be kind of jokey. That's the way I talk to strangers.
To me, that you were just being yourself.
That's
like,
how I am. But
yeah.
it's like she just kept calling me out for trying to chase the funny. It's like, bitch, this isn't an improv session. These are patio laughs.
Right.
I'm just trying to meet people.
I feel
Yeah.
like she was you're trying to ego you, or she was like upset you're
But-
trying to steal her thunder.
What was crazy is I walked back out after getting the Red Bull, and it's just like she's doing her fat girl shtick, and it's like, okay, you just bitched at me for chasing the laughs. It's like you're not exactly improving right now. It's like you're just telling fat girl jokes.
Well, and I'm the type of person that I get uncomfortable when someone makes fun of themselves for being fat. Like I feel uncomfortable like getting in on the laugh.
That, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it's like it's obviously. And then when I heard her say her pronouns out loud, it's like, look, I'll just say this. It's like to each their own, but it's just like it's very telling if you're going to be handing out pronouns like that, and it's just like, so you're that kind of person, and it's like, okay. On top of doing the fat girl, it's like pretty much it's saying, it's like, I can say this, but I'm going to shut you up, and on top of that, you can't even come back. And it's like, what was I supposed to do? It's like that table is dead to me at that point.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this: did anybody else laugh at what you were saying, or is it just her, the only person that was shutting you out? Like, I'm assuming Brandon laughed, and I'm assuming other people got.
We were having. It's like it was
Dude,
more
it was
like
it wasn't like you said. It wasn't a scene. We were just casually talking.
yeah, I
drinking,
was just having a good time.
Just drinking, shooting the shit.
Exactly. Like no,
and
it's
you were
like,
having a good time up until
I
that
was
point.
loving it, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was so geared up, dude. It was so weird because it was just like okay, it's like I was so nervous, but then after talking to Mallory and John a little bit, I was like, okay, I'm feeling good about this. And then we got to meet Maggie Speaks, and it was just like, you know, that was cool. And we're just like schmoozing with people. And then it was just like, as soon as she shut me down, I was just like, woo. And I was just like, seriously, the whole next day, I was like, fuck improv. I hate this shit. And
But yeah, like I said, if you didn't introduce me to her, I probably would have left like with you or shortly after. You know, like if I had known that you were wanting to leave, because like I wouldn't have known anybody up there. Luckily, I had her to like introduce me to other people, and because I mean it was, you know, I'm not like a social butterfly myself, so it's like. I'm glad that I ended up staying though, because I caught that Royal Rumble. It was like a bunch of short form games, which was pretty cool. But the room was kind of dead. There wasn't that many people in there, but
So
it was
sorry
cool.
to
overall,
interject. So long form
headphones aren't working.
improv, is that more of like improv for humans, or is it short form? It kind of like whose line is it anyway? Or
There's
how
different
That's it. You just nailed it.
There's different forms of long form, but improv for humans is long form. Whose line is it anyway is short form. So like short form, it's like, you know,
Quick.
It's like games.
Yes, it's games.
And like long form is like it's a narrative. They like start at point A and then like they go wherever the scene takes them.
Got it. Okay.
But I do have to say though, in doing research, I do feel like it's like what a great cop out. It's like you know, an unfunny set of improv. They just call it improv. But if it's funny, then it's improvisational comedy. And it's just like, oh, you get to have the best of both worlds, because it's like when a stand-up tanks, they tank. It's like it's a bad night.
When improv tanks, it tanks pretty bad too. Like I don't know. I liked Andy's group, and there were some funny scenes.
I was given those well, fuck.
But do
Me
they,
too.
But I just didn't feel like it was like, I don't know. And like he said, he was kind of rusty and whatnot, but like it just wasn't what I was expecting, I guess. And there were some funny moments, but I don't know.
And let me, just to tack onto that, it's like
Even that
I'm
Kansas
not-
City group, you could tell they were more polished, but even then I felt like
it just wasn't hitting. And
Yeah.
so what I was looking up too is it's just like, so the nature of the beast here with these classes, it's like the only prerequisite to moving on is paying the money for the next class and completing the class before it. At least in places like ours, I have heard that there is like in Second City now.
Second City,
if you are to move forward, you
UCB
do have to
classes
like,
are like that too.
yeah, you have to meet a board, and it's just like, and I'm sorry, it's just like, as much as I can appreciate the all inclusiveness and the acceptance and yada yada, it's just like if you are chasing laughs, if you're going for comedy, it's like you need people who can roll with it, because it's like otherwise it's like and there's nothing against those people. I really respect them, because it's hard enough like putting yourself out there, like really it is, and then to just own that stage presence and it's just. Yeah, so it's like I'm not here to knock anybody, but it's just like when you've listened to nothing but top-notch Matt Besser level improv,
Yeah.
and that's what you think improv is, and then you go see it live, it's just like I didn't know what to expect, but I wasn't expecting that. I don't mean that in a negative way.
So I actually looked up some like entry level improv just because I wanted to see what it was about, because I didn't get to go with you guys to the show and check it out. And like Brandon was saying, like, dude, when like they tank, like everyone just gets quiet, and it seems like they just like run out of ideas, and no one knows how to like
keep it going.
Keep it
Well,
going,
and I think
exactly.
I think critics are, because I've heard some bad reviews about it, but I think they're extra harsh on it, because the thing with improv, it's like it's a one-time thing. It's like it's never done before and it's never done again. So like even Andy's group, like I thought that one guy with the tattoo, I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was the funniest out of all of them. But like, if I go see them again, maybe Andy's the funniest that time, or maybe they're just like breakneck hilarious that
yes,
time.
and that's it. And I heard it describe it as well in the way that it's like a lot of it's just you had to be there for that night because, and to that chick's point, it's like. I mean, I agree with that statement in the context of improv. It's like you shouldn't be chasing jokes or like whatever. It's like you own the scene and, and then you just try to naturally let the humor flow. And that's where I read like a lot of the amateur hour shit comes in is it's just like they do chase the funny. They do try to insert funny shit. And I did see some of that night now that after I thought about it, it's just like you should have just owned the scene and really played into it like they do. Like, they take it really seriously. Matt Besser. No, he was,
Yeah.
but no, for sure. I'm not going to sit here and say he wasn't. It's just like I said, it's like I give credit for even being able to be up there and put out like a decent thought because it's like in the one class I did where we do an exercise, it's like I was just stuck in my head from anxiety. So,
Do you think the next thing is now though you'll try stand-up comedy, or do you think eventually you'll get to that point or something? Or
oh yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean I'm working on jokes. It's really weird though because. I have to turn it off because it's like otherwise it's like I want to make a joke out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it just gets. I sound so crazy. I feel crazy.
I'm sure
it's
you're not
like
the
I
only
just seem to be
person
like, ugh, I'm just like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But it's really weird trying because I've always just said shit. I've never really tried to like put shit down.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's
you're
weird
naturally-
trying
you're
to
naturally
catch
funny,
it.
and it's a gift.
But I did show you guys what I got. I mean, I've got a few more ideas from that, but I don't really have anything like other jokes written.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool, man. Kind of upset I never got to go see the improv live, but it seems
We
like
can still go up there. I'm still down to go see shows.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna try to get involved at the moment.
And apparently, like that was way crazy. Like that was way more. Maybe not for a weekend night, but they were saying because that festival was there, so it was like, it was a lot of people and a lot of performers, I don't know. I would like to go up there on like a normal weekday.
And
or
this
a
is like
weeknight or
people that are
weekday.
like, there's no professionals up there, right? This is all intermediate or people that are like, semi talented at. They're not getting paid for improv.
Well, that
or-
chick, she said she was getting paid.
They're
for it.
probably making
Not very much, but-
probably pay for 1/3 of her dinner.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, it was cool talking to John because I was like, yeah, I've been listening to Improv for Humans for years, and he's like, oh, nice. He's like, have you heard Hollywood Handbook or Spontaneous Nation or whatever, like Paul F. Tompkins podcast?
Oh.
I was like, I've heard of it. I've never really listened to it. I was like, Improv for. I just dove in, and there's a few other podcasts that I've listened to, but I think I connect with Besser's humor, and like I like the way that he directs the scenes, and like you can even hear it sometimes during the scene where like an improviser's trying to like branch off or like be deliberately funny about something, and he'll just put them straight back on track. Like, okay, I'm not interested in that. Let's talk about this. It's like he really is like, like you said, he's been doing it for years and years.
He wrote a
and-
textbook. I mean,
Yeah.
Improv for Humans. They actually, they have their own branch of long form. Even it's like it's just crazy, man. They're owning it.
I bought my first ticket to ASCAT for the second week.
Did you snag it?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
I went on sale yesterday.
Is that another like comedy club, or is that like a improv club, or what is
It's
it?
a group.
Oh, it's a group.
Yeah, and apparently the cast rotates, so like Besser might not even be there. But I plan on seeing that if I can every week. It's like $15 a night, so if I can see it every Saturday, just snipe tickets as soon as they go on sale.
Dude, because it looks like people get like religious with that, like as far as like that's
I just like been listening to it on a podcast for years, and I've always been like, man, I wish I lived in LA so I could go see this live. And now I have the chance. It's like I'm gonna take advantage of it and go every single weekend.
Is it like
possible.
is it a big venue, or is it like?
Oh yeah, it's
is
like
it?
it's the like he bought the UCB Improv Manual,
Uh-huh.
which Besser helped write.
Okay.
And that theater, it's the UCB theater. They have 2 in LA and 2 in New York. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seems like I didn't know that, but Sam told me. I was like, and maybe we're in our chat we're talking about it, but I didn't know that New York was that big, or Chicago pretty big too, or is it?
Yeah.
And it's in LA. Well, I guess it makes sense. That's usually where all the big stuff comes from for people that are like artsy and
It's just cool that it
acting.
even exists in St. Louis.
Yeah.
honestly.
well,
Like,
it's funny because I was looking up the history of improv, and like a couple of the major players actually started in fucking St. Louis. They just moved to Chicago before they really dug their heels
really?
into it. But yeah, they I forgot they came from St. Louis, but like St. Louis was like the shortstop, and then it's like Chicago became second city, man. And it just like seemed like it branched out from there. But no, I've been balls deep in old stand up now. I've watched so much Don Rickles and Robin Williams. Like, talk about because it's like I'm trying to think of like improv and stand up form now, and it's like all I can think of is Robin Williams.
I know, because I'm not sure that every single bit that he does on stage on those comedy specials is written down. You know, it's like he might have part of it, but you can definitely tell that he's like mile a minute just fucking
Improvising while he goes.
Well, so it's funny because when you watch this shit like one after the next videos, because I noticed this with Don Rickles too, is it's like they'll take a joke and they'll carry that forward, but it's like if you weren't paying close attention because they're so fast.
Yeah, it is.
I can't hear him in my headphones.
Ooh.
Can you hear now?
Hello.
I hear you.
Hello.
I hear an echo now.
Echo.
Whatever that last knob was.
I can't hear myself now that you mention it.
I think I could.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear Brandon just fine.
Hello.
Yeah, I can't hear Sam.
Nobody wants to hear me
Can you just
anyways.
pause? Can you
All
pause it?
It's not pausing for some reason.
Pause, not stop.
It says pause right there. Oh, or is it right there?
Years ago, I think I was like, dude, I could totally see you doing stand up.
Yeah, so could I. I think you should.
I look at it, it's like it's not. Once again, it's like improv's an ensemble. You need to do it with people, and that's really cool. And it's just like as soon as I can get over like my anxiety and stage fright, and like I can get comfortable with a crowd, it's just like I really do feel like I've got a big enough personality. It's like I could do stand up. I'm not, and it's like it's weird sounding like that because I feel like I sound like a douche. But it's like if you don't own your own bullshit, it's like if I don't think I can do it, then what the fuck's the point of trying?
The biggest thing, and coming from somebody who doesn't do this and who does have stage fright, but it's just like getting up in front of people that you don't know, and it's like I don't give a fuck what they think. Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm gonna go home and I'm never gonna meet these people again. Or you might see some regulars up there, and the other thing is it's just like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah,
That's it.
You gotta fail at it and suck at it for a while before
That's
you get better.
literally there isn't anything I've seen or heard of yet that says it's like, oh, you're gonna fucking smooth sail through this. It's like everybody tanks. You know how many times I've heard Joe talk about early days, like him just tanking.
Joe Rogan?
Like everybody does.
Even those that Kansas City group that we saw, like they were like so into the scene. Like I don't think I saw them looking at the audience once. Like even the ones standing off to the side, like waiting for their time to get in, they're just honed in on the scene. Like they're not worried about the crowd. It's like,
no, not at all.
It's like the crowd might as well not even be there for them.
I noticed too when they do have to look out the crowd for something, they kind of glaze over everybody.
Yeah, like look up a little bit.
And
Yeah.
I guarantee that's a trick to help.
Yeah.
Because if you keep
Don't lock
everybody,
eyes with anybody.
exactly, if you keep them faceless, it's like it's like you're just in the dark, like so.
Yeah.
But yeah, in a way it sucks, but in a way it was good for me because it's like I'm not going to spend any more time pursuing that right now. I do think it's going to be better for me to just work on some material and just get up and fucking try to do a stand up.
Well, at least you tried it and you figured it out, and it's not for you, and you're not knocking like you hate it forever, but it's just not your cup of tea, something you want to do, so it's not a big deal. It happens with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's it too. Is just trying shit and seeing what sticks, and it's like because my last resort. My last resort is it's like if I don't hit with stand up, then I'm just gonna try to write sketches and bits and just see what I can do to
Dude,
still.
and there's a lot of people who are writers for comedy. They don't get the limelight, but they're still like heavy into the scene, and they're friends with all the celebrities who are fun, who are like stand-up comedians and stuff. Like,
and that's why it's like I would love to make inroads with still those people because it's like it's just I want to do the same thing over at like a stand-up club and just get to know people in the local scenes.
I remember what was that guy's name who passed away? He was short. Joe. He was like big in the comedy Bang Bang scene. I think he was a writer for the show. He was on Parks and Rec. Sometimes.
I
forgot his name. Anyways, he was a writer and he did some scenes in like Parks and Rec and stuff. But
well, look at like Louis C.K. Like, what didn't he write for like decades or something
think he
before
wrote for
he
SNL,
did?
maybe.
And yeah, I think John Mulaney before he started doing stand up was a
I
writer.
think Conan was a writer.
Yeah,
on
Conan
Simpsons.
was a writer. So
That's it, Joe Mandy.
Joe Mandy.
Joe Mandy. Oh man, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, I remember hearing when he passed.
36.
Would he die of like a heart attack or something?
I don't know. I don't.
The Good Place, Parks and Rec, Disaster. He looks familiar. Like
But I'm
I've
pretty
s-
sure he was a writer. Like he's got a
Yeah.
lot of writing credits.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, but you're right though. It seems like there's a lot of people that come out. You said I think Louis did the same thing, right? Like he wrote for a long time and then he came out.
I think it was like a lot of people wrote for SNL. A lot of people wrote for like a lot of that old shit. Yeah, so that's all I'm saying is it's like I'm just going down the list,
Now we're talking
seeing
about
what's
that.
gonna stick.
Dude, I watched SNL the other week.
Why?
I just wanted to see what was going on with it because it was late night on a Saturday and I had TV out there and I was a little just out of it and I was hungry and I was sitting out there watching it. I wanted to laugh at something because there was nothing good on TV and I'm sick of watching
You
the
have to
same
laugh
garbage.
how bad it was.
Yeah, that too. And dude, it was just it's so bad. Like I guess we were just spoiled growing up with like the greatest people at SNL at the time. Like I feel.
Well,
like.
I mean, that's subjective because you had the early guys like obviously Bill Murray, Chevy Chase. It's just we happened to catch when we were younger.
But they still were on there when I was a kid. They would make cameos and come on and do
Well,
stuff.
yeah, but I mean they were players back in the 70s.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, when we were growing up in the 90s, you had Will Ferrell and all that crew, and then when we were later, we had Andy Sandberg. In high school, we had Andy Sandberg,
Which was
Bill
awesome.
Hader.
Yep.
Those are just the two that always
Dude,
stick out to me in
Bill
the
Hader,
later.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, like,
Yeah, Andy Samberg. I can't even remember. I
But-
guess Sudeikis, was he around?
Jason Sudeikis.
yeah, he was a
Yeah.
little bit, but point is, it's like we caught two generations of some good people, so it's like it does. I mean, it's subjective, but I would agree with you.
Dude, I
that-
remember looking forward to watching that.
Right?
The Will Ferrell days. Sherry
Oh,
Terry.
Tracy Morgan, like,
Yeah, Tracy
dude,
Morgan.
with the crazy animal guy,
Yeah.
Brian
Brian
Fellows.
Fellows.
Brian Fellows.
Yeah, that was great.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think that was
I just
the
wanna check it
best.
out,
That
you
was
know.
the best time period.
Well, did you hear about the drama with that
Shane
that guy
McGillis?
there? Yeah.
No, what is it? Good, bad?
Political.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, okay. On Twitter.
It was just that
it was his podcast.
some video,
Podcast, yeah, yeah,
podcast he did when they. It's just like everything else. They dig up dirt on people.
Yeah,
you know,
and then
it's like-
Rob Schneider said something about it, and people are going
Well,
off on him on Twitter.
right? Yeah, people are coming out to defend him, and it's just like, I
He
hate.
backtracked his statement. He said something, but then he backtracked and said, hey, you shouldn't have done this,
Dude,
yada yada. but
that's what I loved about Bill Burr's new stand-up because he was like so in your face about you guys fucked this up, basically saying like, with comedy there shouldn't be a line. I agree. There's probably a too soon, like the day after a tsunami, like Gilbert Gottfried probably shouldn't be making jokes like that. The day after a tragedy, but eventually, I mean, people joke about Hitler now, and like. I just don't think there's a line.
Well, I think Chappelle said it
if
too,
anybody,
too.
if for anybody, a stand-up comedian shouldn't have a line, and like SNL, that's like the closest thing, Sketch comedy's like you said, it's in the same vein. I think it's bullshit because he even said in a tweet, he's like, oh, I'm just happy that I was, that I was funny enough to make the cast.
Yeah,
and
he had the chops to make it
Yeah.
because apparently, like
it
performing in
wasn't
front
because
of
he wasn't funny.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to Brand's point, he was saying, like, Bill Burr was like, yeah, this is your guys' fault. I mean, Chappelle's the same thing, pretty much. He's like, I'm looking at you guys. I'm fucking talking about you guys right now. Like, it's your fault. I can't remember the stick, but it was something like that to blame us.
And it's like, look, like I said, I've been watching Don Rickles, like, on the Johnny Carson show from, like, the 70s, and it's like, I mean, he started, I think, doing comedy in, like, the fucking, like, 40s or 50s, and it's like, all that old shit, a lot of his shtick was literally, it's like race-based. It's like, because he was Jewish, so he'd play up the Jewish, he'd, make fun of Frank Sinatra for being Italian, and he'd, like, do impressions of black people, and it's like, but he always had a disclaimer, and because like he would be, because he was an insult comic, like one of the fucking greatest and the one of the pioneers, honestly, of insult comics, but literally, it's just like at the end of the show, regardless of what the fuck he said, he'd be like, "Look, it's like I'm here to make fun. I'm making fun of people." He's like, "If you're offended, that wasn't my intention. I'm here to make people laugh." And that's it. And it's just like I do think it really is intention based. Obviously, a fucking stand-up club is not a Hitler Youth rally. It's like
Yeah.
what you say matters in context, but what they do with Twitter is pull it out of context.
Well, I thought about this too. Like, you hear like white comedians make fun of Asians or blacks or whatever, or black comedians making fun of whites or Asians and Mexicans, like Dave Chappelle. But it's, or even like a serious scenario, like somebody shooting themselves, or like somebody's always either not going to be offended, but they might take it the wrong way. It's like if you were writing jokes saying, oh, well, this person could be offended by this, or this person could be upset by this, like there wouldn't be stand-up comedy. It wouldn't exist anymore.
It's always about pushing a limit, but
Yeah.
it's always about literally. It's like if you're easily offended, like what are you doing? It's like he said, it's like you clicked on my face. It's like no one is requiring you to watch this. It's like nobody wants to hear your fucking 5-page hit piece because you're a trans person who didn't like the alphabet people joke. It's like, who gives a fuck? Move on with your day. Go watch something you like. It's like, why do you have to stew in the negativity?
I just feel like if you're going to a comedy club or you're
Right
clicking on
there.
a comedy show,
Case closed. You're going to a fucking
and you're
comedy
going there- and
club.
you're going there to look to get offended. I mean, that's on you, man. Like, no one's forcing you.
And
to go
that,
to
I'm
that
not gonna lie, it's like it's not like I'm sitting around thinking about blacks and Jews, but it's like when John was describing to me the improv free fall. It's like it kind of scared me because it's like literally I'll say anything and everything behind closed doors because it's like that's just I'm a human being, and it's just like I would hate for something to like slip like in the middle of a show because it's like because I will put comedy first and foremost, and it's like my intention is not to hurt anybody, but it's like that's a very queer friendly place. It's like, what if I let a faggot slip? And it's just like, are they all going to crucify me because I'm a
Well,
white guy?
And I would probably admit that the improv crowd is probably more like PC and liberal than like your usual stand-up crowd too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. It sucks that we even got, because I remember like growing up, it was never like that. And I think it's social media.
I think
that
social media's
spawned all
ruined a
that.
lot of it, and I think the reason Bill and Dave came out with the specials they did is to save comedy, to kind of stand up and say, look, like comedy can still be comedy and it can be entertaining, and it doesn't have to be offensive to people. It can just be enjoyable. Like
Some asshole with a keyboard like across the United States can pull up your old tweets and ruin your career.
Yeah,
15
right.
years
And it's
ago.
just like, who the fuck are you? And it's just it plays in. It's like it's like
Let's
I'm
look
not
at
even
your old tweets and show your boss.
I'm not even gonna call a snowflake, right? It's like, but it's like not. It's like,
And
why do-
people change, dude. Like 10, 15 years.
But
Yeah,
no, let me
it's a long
ask you,
time.
why as a regular person do you think you're so goddamn special that it's like you think you even have like why do we give fuck all about what you think about sticks and stones? It's like I care more about what you guys think about it than some jerk off who's writing
Right.
some literally five pages for a fake news outlet. Like it's like I could start a fake news website tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fucking wah.
I'm-
Like who gives a fuck?
I still remember during the playoffs for the Stanley Cup, the Game 7, somebody withheld information. Wasn't even information. It was some old Twitter dig up from our goalie, right, for Bennington. He tweeted something when he was in college, when he was like 16 or I don't know, 16, like 18 years old. And he's like, yeah, I said that when I was in college and just moved on. Like,
surprise. We change. Like
Change.
as we grow, our humor grows with
I
us.
was
It's like
immature.
shock comedies.
I was immature. I was 18.
Dude, like
you know?
it's like literally it's like I would say whatever like back in the day. It's like now it's like
Well, 10 years ago, there wasn't anything in place. The way
no,
it
but
is
also
now.
it's like look, I'll just be honest. It's like behind closed doors. It's like you say foul shit.
Yeah. everybody
But it's like
everybody's
it
judgmental.
truly was not my intention to like it's like and that's how it's just what I go back to is that's intention and context because it's like I mean sure it's like there's not one joke I've written down. I mean there's only 5, but it's like I don't need the race shit. Like I mean you can work around it, but it's just like it feels like such a hot button topic that it's like if you were to bring up a whole a section of stuff in modern day, it's like because they're ruining everything.
They are.
It's like it's how they want certain groups want to make everything political, and it's just like, well, how can we talk about anything without making it political? And it's like, and do they want that? Because I like escapism. I like
do.
getting away from the real world.
Well, that's the whole point of going to watch a movie or seeing your favorite band or comedian or playing a good game or
Watching sports.
watching sports or just doing anything you enjoy in life where you don't have to deal with that kind of stuff every day. And I feel like that's the biggest problem right now in this time of day, like it's everywhere, and it's I don't know if it's, I don't know if you can call it viral, but it's just infecting everything. Which, yeah, I know we don't like really talking about it, but it's like it seems like every day in our life it affects you a little bit with when you're not even trying, right? If you're at work or turn on the TV or whatever you're doing, it's like, be honest with you, I'm waiting for South Park to come out because I'm ready for them to make fun of everything. Like I'm so ready to laugh at everything because they always put a good spin on it and make
Can't
you
wait
think.
to see
right?
what they like, what current topic that they're going to
Yeah.
play
Do you
off
wanna-
of. I feel like the Greta shit's too, like, it just happened
Yeah, I don't think
yesterday.
they're gonna bring that up.
They might next week.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what the hot
I think
topic
they might
is
bring
gonna
up the
be for
Beto
this week.
O'Rourke stuff. With
Well,
the guns.
don't be surprised. I've heard a story Bill Hader said where they'll do a rewrite on a Monday.
Oh, yeah, they
If
will.
Trey comes in and he doesn't like what they did, literally there has been episodes he said that they rewrote on a Monday for
Dude, those
Wednesday.
guys. So I'm in contact with one of the guys who's been doing the animations for him for 20 years or whatever. I met his dad and I got his card and I email him once in a while and he'll ask me like how I think shows are doing or whatever. I'll have to show you guys. It's pretty cool. He sent me that screenwriting stuff. I don't know if I've ever showed you guys.
Yeah, you showed me that.
But like, dude, they even Trey and Matt even go to the animation guys and ask them like, hey, what do you guys think are funny or what yada yada. But man, I would love to be in that creative room.
I just hope they're not asking the Asian animators.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't know what's funny.
I'd like to see what they come up with all the time. I mean, dude, being around those guys must be just a constant party of laughing all the time. Like, it must be a good environment, like a work environment, being around those guys.
Probably stressful too, though.
Like, when it comes down to, like, making the show, yeah, but they only work half a year, which is really crazy. But then I asked the guy, I said, what do you do in your free time when you're not working on South Park? He's like, well, I'm working on the movies, or we're trying to come out, or the games, which they did talk about maybe making another movie now that they're done with the whole, what's it called? What they get into, the musical stuff, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Broadway, yeah.
They still need to do the Book of Mormon.
Yeah. I saw it. It was good.
I watched a YouTube, like somebody filmed it in the
Yeah.
audience or something.
I mean,
They
That's
need to make-
that's the one I saw.
They need to make a movie out of that, dude.
I
It's
took my
fucking
sister to see
hilarious.
it. Dude, it was one of the funniest things I've ever watched. I mean, I literally laughed so hard. I think these people are getting sick of me laughing next to them, but I couldn't stop laughing. Like my face
Oh, you
hurt.
went to go see it?
Yeah, I went and saw it live at Fox.
Oh, in St. Louis?
Yeah, when they came.
Was it like Josh Gad and like the
Yep.
whole cast?
Yep.
Really?
It was awesome. They played they did some South Park voices and stuff, but of course it was pre-recorded from Matt and Trey, but it was solid. It was,
All right. Perfect segue. Broadway. Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton. $2,000 tickets.
Dude, I can't. That dude's career blew up.
Yeah.
And then he fucking shit the bed in that new Mary Poppins.
Did
That
he?
was dog shit.
Was it? I didn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
see it.
Don't see it.
Don't see it.
Well, are you a Mary Poppins fan?
I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see.
I haven't seen the new one, so
I'm waiting to see the new Harry
I
Potter.
haven't seen the old one.
On Broadway. That's what I'm really waiting to see.
Oh, the cursed child.
I'm joking, by the way, but yeah, I just. Actually,
they're doing a Broadway for Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to go down that road. It's we'll just
Is
say,
the Cursed Child? Is that one of the books that came out after?
That's the one that was. That's the play.
Yes.
They literally the book is like play form.
Yep.
Okay.
Apparently, the book's really good, is what I've heard from people, and that's why there's.
I've heard mixed.
Heard mixed. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if you're super ultra Harry Potter fan or whatever, it's.
They're
Whatever.
to that point. They got a hardcore fandom now.
It's just like any universe where it's like you want more, like, if they had, I'll probably check out the Game of Thrones spinoff just because
I'm definitely checking it out.
the way that shit ended and like I just
My-
love that
my
world.
expectations are
Like,
gonna be low, like super low. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was funny after the directors came out after all the outcry for the last episode. They're like, "Yeah, I'd like to see you guys make it better and do all the stuff with the time." And it's like, well, no one said make it 7 episodes. You guys could have made it 10 to 11 and made it better, right?
I personally couldn't have made it better, but I've read Reddit comments that had a better plot. That it's like literally you should listen to Jerk Off over here. Like,
well, just the writing was out of character. Like I saw a video analyzing character analysis, and they were talking about like they would show like footage from previous seasons, and then show them saying something that completely contradicted it and stuff. It's like they didn't know who they were writing for anymore because they didn't have any more material from George to play off.
and it's
of.
like, were
You know
you
what I
really
found
that
out?
bad?
I don't know if you told me this or someone told me this on Twitter or Reddit. I was listening, but they paid.
I read it on Reddit.
Probably. They paid George R. R. Martin to not interfere with anything to do. So the last, whatever happened or whatever, he had no say in whatever happened. Like, he couldn't tell him how he wanted the book to end. So after it happened, now that's what's going to happen in his book.
all right, I gotta jump to it because it's like it is a perfect segue now. Literally, did you hear about what George Lucas?
Yeah.
he was completely disappointed with the
'Cause they didn't
new
take his
ones
plots.
because they didn't take his plots.
No way. So you want the new Star Wars coming out?
Yeah.
Right, the
This new
shit
trilogy.
wars, yeah.
That makes me even not want to watch it all because I was really with the Force Awakens.
Now I just want to know what he had in mind.
Yes.
More than anything.
Yes.
Which was the one that we liked a lot? The one was it Force Awakens when they first came out?
Force Awakens was okay. My favorite one so far is the standalone Rogue One. I thought that was
Rogue
out of
One.
the old ones, new ones. I was never a big Star Wars fan, so, but no, I loved that Rogue One. That was my favorite.
You know, some of the just even the trailers, looking at some of the stuff, like with her doing that backflip over the ship. It's like it looked cool, but it's like, what was the need for that? Like she could have just turned around.
I don't think it looked cool.
You didn't think
I think
so?
it looked stupid. The whole fucking thing was stupid.
I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket. I'll see it. You know.
I won't.
I don't know. If
I'm done. I'm boycotting.
Are you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go pick it.
You're the 1%?
Yeah.
You'd be
I'm
the
gonna
only
go hold
person
a
out there with your
sign,
sign.
yeah. Fuck you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be jumping all over the hype with the Star Wars stuff. I think until they're done with like the Skywalker saga, I think until they move on to some new
and
stuff.
you guys heard who's writing the next trilogy, right?
Kill myself.
The Game of Thrones writers.
Really?
Kill
The
myself.
two guys who wrote the two guys, David and David, I guess. or-
Yeah, they're out to ruin another franchise. Well,
Disney hired them to write the next trilogy, but it's not going to come out for like. They're giving it a break after this next one, but they're going to have a new trilogy like 4 or 5 years down the line,
Interesting.
and then we're going to see what's it, Pandora or what's the name of that movie? Avatar.
Avatar.
There's like four more Avatars in the works.
4?
Yeah, they're doing like
Christ Almighty.
they're doing like one a year for the next couple years, and then I think the last one's going to be like a 2-year gap or something before they release that.
Man, I thought the first one was good, but I don't know if I'm gonna be invested that much in Avatar. I mean, I guess there's a big fan base for it.
Oh yeah, internationally,
killed.
dude.
It
Internationally,
killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they want to break the in-game record now again because they just got smashed by them.
They barely beat him out.
Yeah.
If they didn't do that
Yeah, but Avatar
broadcast or
did
whatever.
the same thing though. They rebroadcast it too to make more money. So
Put it back in theaters.
Yep.
It's all bullshit. It's all fake. Look at the Emmys. The fact that
I
Game of
know.
Thrones won a goddamn anything. It's fucking.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to the Joker coming out with Joaquin Phoenix, and I don't care if people are saying it's too violent
I
or
don't care what people say.
or whatever it is. It looks good, and I've heard nothing but good things. From
I read an article. I hope it was fake, but I read an article saying that certain movie theaters are like only allowing couples in, like they're not allowing any singles, like any
that is
Wait
so-
a second. hold on. What? I
for
just,
Joker.
Are you kidding
Because
me?
they're like, oh, he's like the most like violent, like iconic character, and they're just trying to avoid what happened at that Batman movie theater.
But okay,
Like I said, I hope it's fake.
James Holmes walked in through an exit, did he not?
Yeah,
it's like
he walked in through an exit and walked on stage.
because it's like let me get a ticket. Never mind the AR-15. It's like no, sell me a ticket. It's like
Hold
what the
on.
yeah, no, he walked through
Why
a
don't we
back
just put a
door.
sign of-
So I think he went. Okay, if I remember correctly, he went and propped open a door and then went out and got his guns.
That's right. He
and
popped the door, went to his
then
car,
came
came back in. That's what he did. But
yeah.
this time now we're gonna have at every exit.
I hope to
sign-
God that's fake.
I hope so
Yeah,
too.
but so what they're doing now, I heard, is at every exit sign and entry sign, they're gonna have Beto O'Rourke with a stop, with a hand sign that says, "We're taking away your AR-15s."
Well, that's what it's like here, man. It's just like you can't get through the day without somebody butting up against you with their AR-15, man.
right? It's just everywhere. It's madness.
I'm eating my Grand Slam at my Denny's. I need my gun. In case some
Yeah.
motherfucker comes in here.
I'm fucking carrying. You see how big this gun is? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks good. I want to see that. I do want to go see Ad Astra. That looks good. I've never been huge into space movies, but this one actually looks pretty good. And
Dude, it
I
looks
did like The
awesome.
Martian. The Martian actually set me back on
Martian
to
was good.
space movies.
I just feel like I'm lacking really after that shit show of Game of Thrones. It's like I'll always love fucking fantasy, adventure fantasy, and it's just like I feel like between the fucking Hobbit trilogy and then that, like we're getting, it's just like I feel like left high and dry. It's like give me some goddamn decent fantasy for the love of God.
Well, I feel like that, and I feel like a lot of comedy movies. I haven't seen a good comedy movie in a long time, man. Like an actual funny movie.
Well,
with-
look at the big name comedy actors now. It's like Kevin Hart and
Not if cancel culture gets its way. They're
Dude, I
coming
just-
after him.
Yeah. Well, it's like yeah.
there hasn't been a good comedy that I've wanted to go see in the theaters.
They tried to pull like that that funny like movie with the 15-year-old kids. I heard just bombed. I forget what it's called.
Oh, but wasn't that produced by or directed by Seth Rogen?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It bombed. Like
That bombed? I thought.
No, there's a new one he's talking about. Oh no! That's the same one. That's the same
Yeah,
one.
I heard
I'm
it-
thinking of the one Jonah Hill directed.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
thinking-
the mid '90s.
Yeah.
It was okay.
I
It wasn't.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Did you ever see Kids from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's a wannabe. I look at it like it's a wannabe Kids, and now I'm not trying to just knock it, but it's just like I think. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just like it fell flat for me, and I was kind of disappointed.
Was it like a
I was
dramedy?
It was a drama with little bits of comedy.
You're talking about the kid movie where he's skateboarding in
Mid
LA,
'90s, yeah.
and like the family looked like they had abusive family.
Don't get me wrong. They really did a good job recapturing what the '90s looked like, in my opinion, and they got a great soundtrack. But the overall story was kind of empty.
Man, that sucks. I remember seeing the preview with you guys in theaters, and I was like, man, I want to see that. I was just thinking about that in my head when we talked.
The
about
trailer was better than the movie, in my opinion. It's like the trailer presented a product that, yeah, I want to see this.
That's the problem, dude.
It's
These
like-
trailers nowadays show a product that's supposed to be outrageously good, and then you get there and you're like, all the good parts are in the trailer, and the movie just sucked.
Let's go see Downton Abbey, man.
Yeah.
I can't ever say that. Downton,
Downton. I guess that's how you say
downtown.
it. Downtown Abbey. Yeah.
I've actually heard too that I'm looking at this right now, but like the new Rambo is, if you're a big Rambo fan, is actually
Look at that guy's hat.
is actually pretty good. And I've been watching Rainbow all week because it's on TV. It was just one of those movies I grew up watching with my dad. So my dad was always big into Stallone movies, right? And it's like, well, he was a big action guy back then or whatever. And I still don't hate him or nothing. But
Yeah, it's the last one, right?
yeah, I
Last
heard
one he's
it
doing.
was pretty decent. Like for a Rainbow, I heard.
I liked the last one, the one before this.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
I heard that was decent too.
Well, look, I stopped judge. I personally, it's like in my head, it's like I grade action movies on a curve. It's like I'm not there for the story necessarily. I'm there for the action. That's the one time it's like yeah, I'll let shit slide if it's bullshit as long as it's like you're killing 50 people and it's like looking crazy and CGI's on point. It's like I'll let some shit slide. It's an action movie.
I remember seeing the kill counts for all the different rainbows. I wonder how this one stacks up. Because the one
Yeah.
before this was like 400
Murder?
or something.
Yeah.
Just, it was brutal.
Well,
man.
it's funny. Critics gave it like a 30%, and then like the fans gave it like an 80%, which was really surprising, or like 70%, which I don't really take those for a grain. Like I take them with a grain of salt now because of what's going on. But then, what was another movie?
There should be a requirement if you're gonna critique something, you should have some skin in the game. It's just like enough of these random assholes trying to like judge things. It's like if you weren't a participant, like if you know, because look at food shows. It's like those people, food critics know food, but any asshole apparently can review comedy specials or movies, and it's just like shut the fuck up. It's like I want to hear people who are industry experts critiquing it, not some fucking Joe Blow.
I heard too that Hustlers movie or whatever with J-Lo was just garbage. And this is coming from women. This was even coming from men, of course, because it's supposed to be.
This was coming from women, but it was full of women.
Yeah.
They didn't like women?
So I don't know. I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, this looks kind of something I might want to watch.
I feel like if they wanted to make that more successful, they should have gotten bigger names. Cause
Yeah.
I just didn't recognize most of the cast. I'm like, I don't know if it was like some, some hotter young actresses like that I'm familiar with. I'd be like, damn, I want to see them stripping.
Yeah,
Shit.
cut me a slice of that hot ass, baby.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, I
Like,
want to
if
see
they had, like,
fucking
Cara
50-year-old
Delevingne,
J-Lo's fucking fat ass. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm just talking shit.
Dude, but they're bringing out I think the rest
But
of
hey, but let me just reiterate.
Yeah.
I also can't think of the last time there was a comedy movie out that I was like, oh, I really want to see that.
Dude, I was just thinking that, like, literally, like, it was movie with like Bad Boys or whatever was the one that came out with the kids or whatever. It just,
Yeah, that no.
I heard it just didn't hit really
no.
well with critics and fans. Like, it was like a younger kid type thing for like little kids, like people like, but not for older adults or anything. It was supposed to be an adult movie, I thought. But
I watched Austin Powers, the first and second one, not long ago, like the last couple of weeks, and like
still,
it
killing
had been so long, and yeah, it was fucking hilarious. And I was like, man, they probably couldn't even make a movie like this nowadays.
No, they
like,
couldn't. Dude, that's
With all-
it's
with
one
all
of those
the
movies you just they can't
puns and-
remake. Well, here, this is something I wanted to bring up that now you're talking about it. It's like they're going to remake The Mask, right? And I'm not a huge Jim Carrey fan anymore because of
Who are
just
they?
how-
Who's the actor? Because Jim Carrey made that movie.
right? It's a woman actress redoing her doing The Mask.
You can't physically see me, but I'm rolling my eyes right now.
But seriously,
Insert eye roll.
that is one movie you can't,
Insert sigh.
can't redo. It's like Jim Carrey made that movie, you can't redo it, right? Now, if you put Jim Carrey back in it, which
What do they call those vehicles? Like it was a vehicle for like Jim Carrey to channel his act. Why the fuck would you want?
Who's the actress? I need to
I
know
don't-
now.
All right, I'll look it up. But while we're still talking, but it's like I just heard this on a
God.
see the Mask remake. I just heard this on a podcast not too long ago, and it just sounded like trash, dude. The Mask creator teases female lead reboot. Here it is, right here. So it brings it up. I don't know if he's got an actress for it now.
How brave? How
Like if it was like Kristen Wiig, like I could see that, because that would be a good vehicle for her to do her shtick.
right? Okay. Because look, I'm not gonna bash something for being specifically woman. I just hate that forced push. And
Yeah, don't-
that being said, you bring up a good point. Like whether it's Kristen Wiig, Amy Poehler, or what's her face? Who's the blonde chick? She's really good with voices. She was on SNL. She's newer. I think she's still in the cast.
Oh, Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon. I haven't seen a lot of her stuff, but what little I've seen, I really liked, and it's like I could see her pulling something like that off. Like anybody who's just good at voices, I would say.
He hasn't found an actress to cast yet. He's still considering.
Oh, it's gonna be so cringy if they're gonna be like, somebody stop me, or like it
Well,
just.
dude, I just feel like someone made a good point on a podcast I listened to the other day. It's like no movie's untouchable nowadays, like for a reboot. Like every movie that you thought was like a classic or a cult classic might just get rebooted now. And it's like, look, I'm all for remaking good movies if it has the original cast or it has a good stuff. But it's like some movies just need to be left alone. Like you couldn't.
Okay, so thank God I heard as long as Robert Zemeckis is alive, they're not gonna remake Back to the Future.
I heard that. I heard there's a lot of people they can't rope everybody back in. They say they don't want to touch it.
Nobody wants to touch, and you shouldn't. There should be. I was bitching about Jurassic Park the other day. Literally, I'm just gonna reiterate what I said in the text. It's why can't you just give me a new dinosaur action movie? Why do you have to package it like Jurassic World? I know at the end of the day it's because for marketing, yada yada. Everybody knows the world already, but it's like, what happened to taking a fucking chance on a movie? It's just like, here's an idea. Instead of spending $300 million on the movie, why don't you just spend $150 million on the movie? Still get good CGI, and just make a fucking new movie. Like, it feels like they don't even want to take chances anymore.
Well, it's like Star Wars did the same thing that Jurassic Park did, where they just revisited the same outcome. Let's go back to the same island where the dinosaurs.
And it's like, cool, you're playing off my nostalgia. You're giving me something I guess I technically want. I want more dinosaur action, and it's like if I have to take that wrapped up as Jurassic World.
Did you see? I sent you
okay.
guys that teaser of the new Jurassic Park.
It's like a short film or something.
a short film.
I didn't
It's
even
like
see
somebody
it.
giving me an ice cream cone after they dip their ball sack on it. It's like, sure, I like ice cream, but I don't like pubes in it. It's
Right.
like,
Well, Chris Pratt actually retweeted that, and he's like, "Let's get this started." They're trying to get another Jurassic Park movie going, whatever. So it's like, I get that. Are people asking for another one? Probably because of how they left it at the ending. Like now, all the dinosaurs are loose or whatever.
Watching that last one, I don't even remember most about it. But what I do remember is that like hybrid raptor being in like the big bad
Yeah.
dinosaur or
Yep.
whatever.
And then Blue saved him at the end again, and then
They need to do something new, like to make it fresh again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember in the first Jurassic World when that sea monster like jumped up. And
Oh my
ate something,
God,
I was like, that was fucking bad.
gave me chills,
Yeah.
dude, how big it was.
Like,
yeah,
they need to
they
do
did
something.
some different stuff in that one, which would make it. But yeah, this last one, I didn't like it. I didn't like how they took the dinosaurs and they put them in a basement of a
Just like
mansion.
running from raptors, it felt like a rehash from the original.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, like, what was that? They spent 10 minutes on the island tops, and they spent an hour in that shitty mansion.
Mansion,
The
yeah.
whole mansion.
Running-
Oh, we're giving
running
a-
from raptors in a mansion.
Tell me how.
Where are you gonna run from raptors next time, guys?
Well, I just want to know how you fit dinosaurs in a basement of a mansion and keep them confined. It doesn't make logical
Oh,
sense.
like that, Randy. The movie was a blueprint for how to train your dinosaur.
Yeah, dinosaur training 101. Yeah, so I'm not looking forward to the next Jurassic Park. I love Chris Pratt though. I mean, I do. I don't think that's his type of movie though. I think he needs to be.
Stick to the space shit, spaceman.
I am excited for Guardians of the Galaxy though. even though it's a couple years away. I hope they stick to the roots with that, and they don't, you know.
It'll be like 50 by the time it comes out.
I know. I was thinking about that, like with the Marvel universe. Like, I feel lucky how we got to like watch the first 10 years, like going through it and watching it all. And like, I feel like they did put a good like end to like the first 10 years. Obviously, they're continuing on from now. But I was thinking like, dude, I'm probably gonna be fucking like 40 or 45 by the time I see X-Men in the Marvel universe. I'm just like,
We are.
It's so depressing to think about.
I mean, they got some. I mean, luckily we get to see what's her name solo movie, and Tony Stark's making a reappearance in there, which is cool. And then apparently he's supposed to make another cameo now, so they signed him on to another cameo for nostalgia throwback to another movie that's a prequel. But then he's done, I think, so far. That could change.
Why don't they make a live action Dragon Ball Z movie?
Dude, I think they've tried.
They
They
did. It was
tried.
shit.
Dude.
Fucking awful.
Dude, it was so bad. They could.
That being said, okay, why not a Legend of Zelda movie? God damn, that would be
would-
sick.
That would be a really cool idea. I mean, they.
Because didn't they do some other movie or something not long ago, or they tried something? Because like they've been doing the mobile games and those have been pretty successful.
So they came out. The Mario Kart game just is coming out like today or tomorrow or next day. It's supposed to be coming out.
25th.
Make that a movie. You're making trash already. I'd rather see a Mario Kart movie than 80% of the shit out.
But yeah, I mean, we're talking about Nintendo. I literally the last couple of games I've bought, man, everything's just been so good. I've just been so happy with the last couple games I bought from them.
But have you noticed they're not really wrapped up? You think since Mario Brothers was shit back in the day, it's like they've just been scared to do
They just
movies
don't wanna-
because it's like,
You figure they would have the money to at least try it again.
yeah.
And Zelda's like the perfect game for that adventure, saving the princess. Like,
Come on.
Dude,
they
have
Perfect fantasy.
so many games
Material.
that they could go off storyline from. Dude,
dude, just make Ocarina of Time a movie and I would watch it.
yeah, exactly. Good actor, good, and you could make it like a medieval type thing or something like that. You know, back in those days. I mean, or just fantasy type.
What's that? Code for no blacks?
That's code for only white people.
I could see Idris Elba as Ganondorf.
He's been
He was fantastic in Dark Tower. Great movie, by the way.
God.
He's been cast in a lot of movies lately. I mean, a lot. I don't know why, but I guess he's a premier actor right now. I did like him. I do
Cobbs
love
and Slaw.
Yeah, that movie was garbage.
Oh
Somehow
my
it still made
God,
$170 million. Probably 'cause
You
of
can
Rock.
you can thank the Chinese market for that garbage.
Yeah.
They will just pump. It's like the more something can give you seizures, it's like you can fucking bet on it. They'll spend like $200 billion in the Asian market on it.
What I just don't get is how you go from a franchise making it about racing and being like street racing to robbing banks and robbing stuff and not even about racing cars anymore. It's like this,
They have had 9 movies to get to
they're on
there.
eight- they're in-
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it went from the
She was a
first.
super soldier.
Yeah.
You gotta keep the stakes high, man.
People, Hobbs and Shaw back at it again.
I hope
People
they're
have
done.
literally lived and died making those movies. Dun, dun, dun.
I started watching The Meg with Jason Statham, and I turned it off.
I heard that movie was garbage. That big shark movie.
I just seeing Rainn Wilson in that like made me seriously sad. I was like, man, he's never gonna live up to Dwight Schrute.
Man,
He was like supposed to be
Yeah.
the comedy relief, but he just wasn't funny, and the acting was bad, and CG was bad. I just like fuck this.
yeah, man. When the comedy relief doesn't stick, it's like
Dude, Brand made a good point the other day. We were talking about Zombieland. The second one I know is coming out.
double tap.
I'm not really, Double Tap. I'm not really hyped up about it, man. Like I was the first one.
I wasn't. Look, well, it's different now. I mean, zombies have been like overdone to death.
Well, somehow The Walking Dead is still on.
back.
Yeah, dead
when
and
you
back
have-
again.
How long's The
This
Walking
is the
Dead?
story of Rob Zombie.
South Park.
I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
being
It sounded like
I'm trying to be
I
stupid.
thought it was about the Rob Schneider.
Hey Sam, can
Rob
you just
Schneider. You're right. Can
You
you
don't have
can you shut me up, please? Will
shut-
somebody shut me up?
shut the fuck up?
Hey, we don't do that.
You're
around
chasing the funny. Just stop. Oh,
I mean,
how
honestly,
insightful! What a great quote, bitch.
I'll probably watch it. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters. It'll probably be something I'll just like download and check out later on. But
Yeah.
I'm just not like hyped for it.
I'm not. You make a good point though. It's like this movie's coming out and Walking Dead's still on.
And let me just say this: you remember? I still remember the Halloween that Walking Dead released on, because it was like you're finally, because I wanted more zombie shit, and I wanted it in a TV format. It's like I wanted to see like over time, because after playing like survival kind of games, it's like, yeah, it's like you can only fit. Like the mall movie where it's like they're trapped in the mall or they're trapped in the house or whatever. It's like you can only get so much content out of that kind of story, and it's just like branching it out and seeing how people survive long term in that situation. Great idea. That being said, I fell off after season 3. Like,
Yeah, I fell off after Carol turned into the Terminator.
Yeah,
when
me
she
too.
had a chain gun and just fucking shot down that compound. I was like, who? She's the I guess they're trying to show some arc where she turned from the wife who was beaten into
The badass.
the badass. I just didn't buy it.
She
I was
found
like, this
her,
is
like, in
bullshit.
her-
There's a compound full of cannibals, and she's gonna single-handedly rush in here and
so
rescue everybody.
would you say that was you think that was the writing or the actress?
I think it was more the writing. I
More
don't think
the
it was her
writing?
fault.
I think it was writing,
I don't think it was
too.
her fault, but
Because I mean because that sounds like an interesting character arc. It's like, okay, you were an abused housewife and you do turn into a badass, but it's like, once again, it's like how
The
you-
logistics of it is what bothered me. It was like Rick and his entire crew get kidnapped by these cannibals, and they're about to die in that train car, and she just takes a chain gun and mows down the front fence, and just goes in there by herself,
Mows them all down.
and nobody can stop her. I'm just like, it didn't seem real.
No, and me and Laura watched it all the way up to like season 5 or 6, and just because I wanted to see if it would actually end off with a good, because they're like, oh, it's gonna be the last season. I don't know. They're probably like in season 12 now.
10's getting ready to come out.
10, whatever.
Or 9 just ended. I
Or whatever,
guess.
it just happened. I'm just so done with it. The only good thing I got out of it was Carl finally died, and I was like, thank Lord that fucking kid died. I was so
Spoiler
sick of it.
alert.
how ironic. Hey, how ironic! A show called The Walking Dead doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was just getting ready to say. What they should have done is they should have had 3 seasons, and every character from the first season should have died by the end of the 3rd season. They should have just been like, okay, this is a dark fucking world. Nobody survives.
Why did they make the
And
Walking
then there would be an actual like stakes to it, like when main characters are dying off. Like imagine if Rick died at the end of season 1, like Game of Thrones, like Ned dying, like.
That would have been so heavy hitting, dude.
Yeah.
That would have been sick.
Why keep The Walking Dead and then make a prequel like whatever the hell the other show is? There's 2 shows now about it, and there's some
The Talking Dead?
No, not the Talking. That's the after show that talk about.
I
it.
know, I
Yeah.
know. Night of the Fear of the Living. I don't know.
Yeah, Fear
It
of
is
the
fucking
Living Dead or
Fear of the Living
whatever.
jerk offs.
Yeah, so and there's some like the original characters in it. The guy with the stick, the black dude that saved Rick when he had to shoot his wife, or whatever. He's like in the episodes now. Like he went from this show to that show, and it's like cool. I don't why who watches this show?
Tune in this week for the great crossover special.
But yeah, so let's watch Terminator.
I think that's when I stopped watching. Is when that guy, I forgot his name, when he got to. Remember they had that neighborhood barricaded off.
Yep.
And they had that the female mayor and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got
They had the town.
somehow her husband died.
Yep.
Right when that black guy showed up, and then that's when I just quit watching. I just lost interest. I was like, wasn't good anymore. It was like. I should have quit at season 3.
Well, I was just like,
season
they
2 when they were looking for fucking Sophie all season.
That's the season. I don't think I made it past 2. It was like that. I was like, why did I just spend a whole season watching them dick around on the side of a
on the
highway?
farm and the highway.
And did they
could
think
reveal her coming out of the barn and everything?
Oh my god! I was just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. It's something I've come to a conclusion with, though, is like movies are going downhill and TV shows are getting better. Like,
Like got big name people doing shows and like higher budgets, and we're in the day of the Netflix where you can just binge watch a show. Netflix doesn't really put out numbers as far as like how many people watch that shit, but they're obviously making so much money. They're pumping like billions into production, and just like seeing what sticks. They're just like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
it's a good idea, and especially in this day and age of instant gratification, getting stuff streamed through whatever. But I'd like to see how Disney does it and how what this does happen to Netflix. Like, is it going to be that good, or is it
Well,
going to fail?
I will say this: is they're already planning on doing weekly releases of the shows so that you can't binge.
That's fine with me because I do miss that, like with the Game of
Mm-hmm.
Thrones, like waiting week to week and be like talking to your friends about, oh, I can't wait to
And
see
that-
what happens next week.
that
Or-
right there. It's just like water cooler talk at work or whatever. It's just like
and it keeps the popularity going on longer.
That's a lost thing that.
The show Lost was great. Speaking of Lost things, sorry,
Yeah, no, you're
but
good.
it was just like immediately. So that's what I was thinking of in my head. I was like, Lost was the last show. I feel like I was like having on the edge week to week. I was like, what the fuck's gonna happen?
Well, I feel like get Game of Thrones, Westworld. Was really
okay,
good.
Westworld, Game of, for sure.
Yeah, but for Brand's point, it's like, yeah, dude. You know how many times I would just be like, oh, I'm just gonna binge watch the show, and then it's ruin the whole show in like 2 days for me. It's like, well, the show's over with, and I have nothing to look forward to now watching it on TV. It's like I miss as a kid every week, just like with South Park. They only do one episode or whatever's going on. I would hate to have the entire season released on Hulu and then watch it in one day. You know?
The first season of Stranger Things, when that came out, I was just like, what the fuck is this? And I like ended up watching it all in one Sunday. I was just like, holy fuck.
I mean,
was
don't get me
good.
wrong. It's fun binge watching a good show.
It is, but it's like but I like, let's go back to the days of it's like, yeah, we release it week to week, and if you want to binge it, save up a few weeks or wait till the season's over and then get your binge. But it's just back to the whole point of it's like it's great if you're following week to week and you can talk to other people about that without being like, oh, where are you at? See, episode 6? Well, I better wait to say something.
I would miss an episode of Game of Thrones in 1 week, so the next week I could watch them back to back and watch the episodes.
Because I mean, in the prime of Game of Thrones, it's like the episode would always end. You'd just be like, I want fucking more. I feel like a crack addict. Because like, give me more
I think it was
immediately.
season 7 where they leaked an episode early.
Dude,
Yeah,
I remember-
didn't they release a couple?
Something like that. Because I watched 2 in a row and then I had to wait 2 weeks to watch another one. I was like, fuck. Why did I do that to
I
myself?
remember Brandon said that because I remember he was telling me about how they use the watermarks to figure out who fucking released it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Wasn't it coming from India or some shit?
Yeah, someone sold it and released it or whatever because of certain watermarks on the film, and it's like, dude.
They walked it back. I think they found those people.
Well, yeah, because they sent it to certain people. It's like, well, you're screwed now. You're not getting any of our tapes or anything early.
I read this crazy shit today real quick. You don't even have to go into it. I just want to say it is they were saying TVs now, commercials, advertisements have a way to like send a signal like to your phone to ping it so that the advertisers know like who's watching TV.
What?
Yeah.
It's getting that insane. So if
I
you're watching
don't even know if
P-
I could say it
So if
again.
I'm watching,
That's like
okay, so if I'm
it's like blowing my mind as I say it.
So if I'm watching, let's say, football on Sunday, and a Domino's
All right.
commercial comes on, Domino's will ping my phone.
So yeah, well, so apparently, and I look it up.
Look it up.
But I just read an article about it. So yeah, apparently, like there's certain advertisers starting to use something where it's like they can send out some sort of signal from their commercial that can ping your phone, that will then notify. So they'll let them know who's watching.
Wow.
Look
Dude,
up
honestly,
TV
like, with tech nowadays, that doesn't
signals.
surprise
It's a
me.
phone.
I mean, with anything, I'm not surprised with any of that crap either. But I mean, doesn't sound like the fuck.
What are you typing?
I don't know. I can't type on this keyboard, but it does sound like something they would do. I mean, they've already proven that if you say something in your microphone, like when you're on your computer, you watch it, you could say like the word dog bone like 20 times in the first place you go to add 20 things of dog bones will pop up.
There, that Ars Technica. Beware of ads that use an audible sound to link to your phone.
Tablet and PC. The ultrasonic pitches are embedded into your TV commercials or played into the user encounters and displayed to a computer browser, while sound can be heard from a human ear. Nearly tablets and smartphones can detect it. When they do, browsers and cookies now pair a single user. That's insane, dude.
It's not enough that it's like Google's tracking our every movement, or like, you know, whether it's just like literally there's 3 companies that exist that know like everything about me. It's like, and that's not enough. You still have to like bombard us with fucking ads. And it's like, you know, YouTube's forcing like, is it just me or is YouTube forcing like 2 ads now before a fucking, you know, and then before a video?
Sometimes they force 1, sometimes they do 2, and I've noticed even on a lot of ones I'm watching, they'll do their own ads, and then they'll force in like 2 more ads, 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end. It's like, seriously, why is this needed? You know, like,
Why is this needed? It's like, is your advertising not getting through enough? Jesus Christ, it's already, it's like, I hate tailored advertising because it's like
Do you remember when South Park did that episode where the girl was
Yeah.
a giant ad?
Leslie, was it Leslie?
Yeah, Leslie.
There she is, officers. Get her out of my school.
Remember Community when that guy legally changed his name to Subway?
Dude, I fucking completely forgot about Community, dude. Starburns. That's like that would be a good show to go back and watch
Oh,
at this
I love that
point.
show. God.
I hadn't seen that in years, dude. I love how many like specific reoccurring episodes they had, like the paintball episode, or like, dude, the Christmas specials were always awesome.
I feel like Community
Fucking-
season 1 and 2 were really, really good.
For
I
sure.
feel like the show just got better and better. But once they lost Donald Glover and Chevy Chase, that season 6 that they did on Yahoo,
Yeah.
it was rough.
It
was still
was.
funny, but
Yeah.
just wasn't the same.
No, it wasn't.
I can't believe Yahoo's still ain't alive. Now we're talking about that. Like,
I can't believe they had a show.
Guys, I still have emails from high school. Like, I still have my same Yahoo account. I still have emails saved from fucking high
I
school.
know people that still do on their Yahoo as well, and it's unbelievable. Like I saw Hotmail, which is now owned by Outlook. You know,
What were you like? Do you remember those stupid old games that were like
on Yahoo.
were click based? It's like you had to get the link sent out, and if
Mm-hmm.
you get clicks, there was like Mafia Wars or whatever, and there
Oh,
was like a
yeah.
porno one.
That was your favorite.
Well, of course,
What was the drug one?
Drug Wars, I thought it was
Drug
called.
Wars? I think.
but yeah, it was like all similar. It's like they would just take a theme. It was just like,
Dude, I forgot all about that.
yeah,
I remember going like Pogo, like Pogo.com. They had,
Pogo
like,
at school. At school,
Different games you could play on there. Yeah.
I remember there was always in those computer classes we'd find a ways around their blockers, whatever, to find games or do whatever that they'd have whitelisted or something. We would just find some stupid site to go play games on.
yeah. Dude. There were so many garbage games that were just so much fun, like browser based games that were so much fun back then in the days of fucking iPods and shit.
Have you seen this? You guys saw this, right? This Doctor.
I heard
Sleep?
about this.
Is
I-
there a trailer?
Yeah, there's a good trailer.
Is
yeah.
there? I need to check that out.
What else has Mike Flanagan directed?
Mike Flanagan is. It's based on Stephen King's book. It's
Right.
It's after the
But-
Shining.
The thing about Stephen King material, like it does come down to the director. Oh, he did The Haunting at Hill House.
Oh, nice.
You guys saw that, right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my fucking
I can't wait.
god!
I get chills thinking. I still think about Crooked Neck Lady. Like,
Ooh,
Dude,
that
speaking-
reveal.
dude,
It was her the whole time.
literally chills thinking about her.
Wow, she's falling through the fucking floors.
She was seeing herself all. Oh,
Haunting yourself, like Jesus Christ.
Season 1.
Such a mind fuck.
Oh, season 2 is coming out in 2020.
Dude, I think like yeah, there was a few creepy scenes in that show that like
The Boulder
I
dude
was just
scared
like
the shit
I
out.
was watching it
Dude,
at
the
night. I was
Boulder
like,
head scared the
tall
shit out of
man.
me when she went under the
Yeah.
bed and he poked his head underneath there. That
oh god, well
freaked me
when they
out.
found him in the wall and shit, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That was a
I
great-
just saw Midsummer, dude.
Ooh.
Fucking- It's crazy because it's like, I guess it's kind of like Alaska, but it's daytime. There's only like a few hours of dark, so like most of the movie is like bright. You're outside. They're all in white, so it's like it's very
Schweden?
yeah. It's a very like vibrant, like light movie, but they do. There are some like super dark moments. It starts off with this super heavy thing, and
But
I
let
don't
me-
want to spoil anything.
But the fact is, like, did that add to the creepiness since it was all in the light?
Yeah.
Because usually that shit's like, very horror movies are dark.
Then it had that like cult vibe, you know, and
That
it was just
would, like,
very
the-
dark, very heavy.
I don't know if it's the right word, but the juxtaposition, or just like the fact that it's like they did go, because that's what appealed to me the most about the trailer. I can speak to that. Is it's like you can tell they were doing that fucking cult shit in the daytime, and it was like this is like has a look to it, like what a like very stylized.
And it was very subtle. Like it would like pan across some tapestry that they created or something that the characters didn't see, but you get to see, and you could tell it's very disturbing and dark. And then like the very first heavy thing that happens once they're there happens in broad daylight, and it just hits you like a ton of bricks. You're just like, holy shit. I don't know, man. It was like I said, after I watched it, I felt like disturbed. I was just like, oh my god.
Well, that's why I sent that Don Rickles video, because you're like, I need something to brain cleanse me. It's like, here's some shit.
And this movie looks good too.
Silly
You were
shit.
talking about it, you guys, the Honey Boy movie.
Oh, is that Shia LaBeouf?
Shia LaBeouf. You said it's an indie film. I haven't seen.
Oh, I was talking about Peanut Butter Falcon.
Okay.
But no, this is supposed to be based on his own experiences.
Oh, it's like Shia LaBeouf's experience. Oh,
Oh,
okay,
really?
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Did he direct?
Dude, I remember watching Even Stevens when I was like really young. You know,
I never watched it, but I remember for whatever reason.
is that what it was called? Even
Yeah, I remember hating him as a kid. I mean, like, fuck Shia LaBeouf, fuck
It's so
that
weird
show.
seeing him nowadays. Like,
He is. I'm just really.
what about that new Terminator?
the
You
new
excited for
Terminator?
that?
Looks so good, dude.
You can't even ask me that seriously. Are you excited for that? that trash? I ain't taking the bait.
Oh my god. Well, it's directed by Tim Miller. I mean that's like the only saving grace that kind of gives me a little bit of hope.
I just, dude, whenever I see Linda Hamilton, all I can think of is Steven Tyler.
Yeah. That's literally all I can think of too. When the
Dude, look like a lady.
Oh my god.
I'm definitely not. The Terminator's already been ruined for me for the last couple movies. So I'm just not gonna let it ruin any more childhood stuff. I don't care.
You can't hurt me anymore.
Well, you know, here's the biggest question about this movie, and I've heard from multiple people that are huge Terminator fans. It's like,
Is why?
No, how is Arnold still alive after he went in the lava? So is there gonna be some big fucking revealing?
It's a like a clone robot. I mean, it's not the same Arnold. It's a different one.
Well, I would also argue time travel. Like,
Well, that's not
with
what I've
time
heard.
travel, you can do
I've heard
whatever.
I've heard it was the same one.
Even if they somehow extracted his memories and like implanted it in a new one that looked just like him, I don't know. But like you were saying, the time travel. Like after seeing Endgame and how they talk about time travel, you know, like, so that was all bullshit. Like that's not how time travel works. It's like
Dude,
no one
there's-
really knows how it works. So.
There's some huge theory from 3 different people that going on about how the whole thing happened with Cap, like how he went back in time and came back, and like 2 of them were just like dead on, like could have been both right, and no one's
That
still.
could be its own show or its own movie.
Yeah.
Like him just going back in time and returning the stones. Like I'd love to see him see Red Skull when he's returning the Soul Stone. Just like see that interaction. or- yeah.
It'd be cool.
But yeah, I'm excited for that What If show because I don't know if it's going to be like classic 2D animation or if they're doing like a 3D like Pixar style animation for it. But it'd be cool to see like the what ifs, like you know, like what if Cap did pick up the hammer the first time, or like, you know, what if
I
Cap was
just-
the one who sacrificed himself to save everybody, or I don't know, just like different ways of looking at things that have happened.
No, I'm curious to see what they're going to play on, but until then, I'm just going to have to tamp down my excitement for She-Hulk and Miss Marvel. So,
I think it's cool that
What about
Disney's.
She Thor?
Well, it's cool that Disney's doing like their own original programming, like on the Disney Plus, like how Netflix is doing their own originals type stuff. So, like I saw that they're bringing back Lizzie McGuire. Not that I'm excited for that. I just saw that was one of the
I
announcements.
did see that she accepted and she's going back to doing it.
So it's cool that they're like,
she needed the work.
She did.
that they're giving
Good
people
for
a reason
her.
to
Yeah,
subscribe to
it's
it.
getting old on her back working.
I'd stuff the duff. There's a show. Here's a pitch for you, Disney. Who stuffed the duff?
In this week's episode,
Well, let me just say this. It's like this is what I think Disney has mixed up that I think Netflix has right, and it's preachy, but it's like, look, it's like in what they're doing as far as throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks is like they're giving opportunity to everybody, like movie creators from around the world. It's like they're making content tailored specific to different audiences. Where
People
Disney
who wouldn't have that opportunity otherwise.
Correct. Where Disney gets it wrong is they're trying to mash everything into one and be like, look at how diverse it is. Everybody should enjoy this. And it's like, no, it's like tailor content towards like target demographics if that's what you want, because that's what'll get shit to stick.
Well, I'm sure they saw that with Black Panther. You know, like that was totally tailored towards the black audience.
And look-
I'm okay with. I still enjoyed it, but I'm not like super excited to go see the second one coming out. You know?
I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure it ain't gonna be like anything like the first one hyped.
It's
up,
Marvel. Like they've honestly, I can't really sit here and say that they've released a movie that I've hated. I didn't really care for Captain Marvel. I didn't hate it, but I mean, I don't think there's one that I like.
Well, now
straight up hated.
talking about that, there's a huge controversy right now in Marvel going on that now that Spider-Man's gone, that they're not going to do another Captain Marvel movie because apparently they didn't even talk about it in Phase 4, Phase 5, like her getting another movie. There's been no director, no writer, anything assigned to do.
Well, and
it.
I've heard too from Kevin Feige himself saying that like.
Did he
They-
tweet you?
Yeah, he tweeted at me. They've had they've experimented with like the team up movies, you know, because Thor Ragnarok was like a team up with Hulk.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, she might not have her own solo movie for a long time or ever again, but like I'm sure she's gonna because I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure Miss Marvel's origin, she gets her powers from Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that's correct.
So she's obviously going to make an appearance.
Well, there is
at the very
people
least.
speculating, they're like, why don't they just put her into some more of the cosmic stuff, like with Guardians, like introduce her more into that kind of stuff and bridge her in
They
with
should.
that. And it's like, that makes more sense than put her in with Spider-Man.
The-
Like,
yeah,
oh,
the
she was
cosmic
Spider-Man.
shit. You
Yeah,
know,
cosmic
get her
stuff.
out in space. And
Yeah.
it's like I'm not gonna argue with that.
No, especially if they're going to bring back, who's the villain, the big
Galactus.
Galactus. If they're going to bring him back and use Silver Surfer because he's supposed to get his own solo movie and, you know, like Adam Warlock and all those movies.
Did they get Silver Surfer back from Sony?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're already...
The only character Marvel doesn't have right now is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
They're trying to get Spider-Man...
And I think some of the Spider-Man verse characters, like Spider-Verse characters, like Venom and Carnage and all that.
I just read something the other day and watched something again, and it's all rumor based, right? But they're getting closer. Apparently, Sony and Marvel getting closer deal, and they want Venom.
What's churning in the rumor mill?
Dude, I hope they figure that shit out.
I do too. I mean, because I like Spider-Man.
Tom Holland's been the best Spider-Man in my opinion. and
He's by far
I just want to
the
see a
best.
continuation to that story.
Continuity, because
Especially
it's
after
like
that big reveal. Did you see Far From Home?
no, I didn't. But feel free to
You want me to spoil?
I don't care.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, spoil it. It's fine.
or don't spoil it. Don't
I'm not
stop.
Gonna spoil it.
Stop! Don't no.
You should watch it though. It is really
There's
good.
there's a huge reveal at the end where you're just like, holy shit. I just want
It was Jake Gyllenhaal the whole time.
He was dreaming.
Dude, he was good as Mysterio. I really like. They have this like, there's a trippy nightmare sequence where he's using his illusions on Spider-Man, and it's like straight up like 5 minutes of him just like tripping on acid. It's so
Dude,
crazy.
now that we're talking about that, I'm gonna watch that.
the whole end of well, there was a bunch of trippy parts in Doctor Strange, but when it seemed like a blacklight poster at the
Yeah.
end,
Yeah.
holy
Awesome.
fuck!
I'm excited for that new one.
Oh god, yeah.
What is that one supposed to be based on? Now we're talking about it because I know it's coming up in 2 years or in a year. It's supposed to be coming.
I don't
out.
think it's this year. I think it's the year after.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong about
No,
that.
I think you're right. They said it was in the next 2 years.
But they said it's going to be like a horror movie. It's like Marvel's first horror movie.
Ooh.
And it's called like Multiverse of Madness. So it just sounds
Holy
like it's gonna be
fuck,
Scarlet Witch
man.
and Doctor Strange team up.
That's sick.
Oh,
I like Scarlet Witch a lot.
well, I like what's her face, Olsen.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. I was thinking Mary Kate.
Yeah, you would be.
Elizabeth Olsen's really good.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Elizabeth Olsen's really good.
I'm excited for the WandaVision too. Like I think that'll be good with Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Oh yeah.
They have their own show.
Is it
on
going to be a
Disney
T?
Plus.
Is it? Oh, it's going to be a
I
TV
think
show.
that's supposed to lead straight into Doctor Strange.
I want to see him touch each other's privates.
She's gonna warp reality and make his dick bigger. His robot dick.
Take this.
I'll be interested. to see how
Take
they-
this,
how they-
robot dick.
How they'll bring him back because technically he's supposed to be still
Well,
dead.
maybe she warps reality to make him real. Like,
Yeah.
What if?
What if?
What if he's a female?
Hey, I heard they call Doctor Strange because he's gay.
Oh, we're using our real names now. Our made-up names.
Dude, this Charlie's Angels movie, have you seen that one either? Like, that looks... God, it looks so bad. It's the first movie with Kristen Stewart since she's done, like, any big movies, and apparently
What's she doing acting? She's terrible at it.
she's a lesbian now.
But she's just like, I mean, I'd rather watch a brick wall act, dude. Like, it's just...
You know,
she's just so bad.
She was good at the teeny bopper stuff with whatever the love movie was, Twilight or whatever, for what it was at the time. She played that character, I guess, for what it was, and...
Well, at least play to your strengths then. I want to see you eat some puss. Like, come on. Do what you do best. Sorry, I'm being really homophobic. Sorry.
Yeah,
Can we edit this out?
No.
Some of this? Some of that? Can
And
you
we
just
got-
go through and just snip some?
And you got...
Like a little Jew boy? Snip, snip.
Yeah, I can do that. $20.
Dude, I saw that Mr. Rogers trailer, and I was like, they had that scene on the train where all the actors started singing, like on the train. It's like it's supposed to be. Show me a subway or a fucking train where everybody just starts singing and having a good time. Like,
It's
just
gonna be one of
felt
those,
so
one of those
fucking fake.
feel goods,
Yeah.
feel gooders. It's like, oh, look at me.
Like that shit just takes me out of it.
Well, look, I love Tom Hanks and I love Mr. Rogers, but it's like, I mean, just like I've had enough feel good shit lately. I feel like
I just
like,
can't believe that movie's coming out. They're redoing Jumanji, which I hated the one they redid because it just, and then you got your favorite
Dude,
Star Wars movie coming
when
out.
my parents pass, I'm sure I'll be eating up feel good movies. I'm sure.
Probably.
You know, like if you're going through a hard time and you're going through some heavy stuff, like I'm sure those movies make you feel great. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like for the end of the year, there should be like some really good movies coming out. Like the last 2 or 3 years, maybe just because Marvel had like these awesome movies come out at the time. There's just not that many good movies out coming out the rest of the year. I mean, really.
Well, I mean, you had La La Land and 12 Years a Slave. I mean, that's some.
Those won like 15 Emmys and Grammys, right?
I saw La La
that
Land.
Emmy
It
trash.
wasn't terrible. Like I actually really like Ryan Gosling, so
I like Ryan Gosling too.
Like Drive was good, and that
He-
new Blade Runner, dude. If you guys haven't seen that new Blade Runner, you got to see it.
I haven't seen it. I need to see
Like
it.
even if you haven't seen the first one or you don't remember much of it, like because I don't remember shit from the first one, it does touch on it quite a bit, but they do it in a way to where like you don't feel out of the loop. But dude, just Ridley Scott sci-fi in general, I'm just like a huge fan of.
Oh,
the new
fuck
Blade
yeah.
Runner is so good.
I mean, look, I would argue that. Yeah, so Drive was great.
Drive
I
was
do like Ryan Gosling as well. Look, like, okay, I'll admit it. It's like Prometheus wasn't the strongest. It's like that's not what people wanted in an Alien sequel. I still loved him, but a lot of people didn't. But it's like
Aren't they
Ridley
supposed
Scott still did a great job with those. I feel like
Isn't he supposed to remake another one, like another Prometheus or something?
He was
lead up
supposed to, but then Covenant didn't do very well.
No.
So now it's up in the air.
and it's like, if anything, it's like go back to your roots and give us some space horror. Don't take it to the planets. Get stuck on a ship. That was what was great about the Ripley shit. Is it's just like it felt claustrophobic because it's like, you know, you fucking rip a hole in the hull, it's gonna suck out shit to space. It's like, and like the clothes, like, I mean, it just really left the impression like the ship hallways, just the claustrophobic feeling,
Yeah.
like and being stuck out in space with this fucking monster on your ship
I feel like a lot of movies.
that bleeds acid. It's like, okay, there you go. It's like all you need to rip a hole through the hull, and it's like this thing fucking spits acid.
I feel like a lot of movie genres lately, like we're talking about, like comedy, horror, and just general. They don't release that many good movies, and if they do, it's like once in a blue moon. And recently, it's just been comedy. I know it hasn't come out, but like the new It was really good.
I heard that was really good. I gotta see that.
Yeah, it's good.
I heard Bill Hader was really good in It Chapter 2.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
lost some weight. He's really slimmed up, or maybe he's always just looked that way. Because I always recently he always looked a little bit bigger, but I don't know. He was fucking hilarious in the movie, to be honest with you. Like some people said he was too over the top funny in It, but
I
thought-
just like looking at his character from his kid actor from the first one. Like he did a good job, like portraying that, like an older version of that kid.
Well, wasn't he the funny one, right?
Yeah,
Correct
he
me if I'm
was.
wrong,
The
but
kid from
was it
Finn.
Richie or
Yeah.
the character? But it's like you remember the original It, and it was like it was Seth Green.
yeah, Seth Green.
And it was like he was a ham. He was hamming it up.
Mm-hmm.
So not that I've seen it, but just to defend that, if they were saying it was over the top, it's like that was. I thought that was part of the character.
I think they made the movie. I think they couldn't do a better job, dude. I think the movie was it was awesome. I think the first one I thought was really, really good. I thought this one was just up to par. to
And I
be
mean,
honest.
once again, context. It's like at the end of the day, he's a fucking cosmic space spider. So
That's where I wish they went more with it in the second one. I agree. I like the second one, but at the end of the first one, they showed you that like portal and like showing the redhead chick like
Getting
her
sucked in.
eyes like roll back and
Mhm,
The
the
deadlight,
deadlights.
yeah.
Yeah.
like they just I feel like they kind of missed an opportunity to get like full on cosmic horror there at the end. Like
There's not enough cosmic horror, and
There
it's
really
like
isn't.
everybody's scared to touch Lovecraft nowadays because he was a racist.
I think there's a lot of people that just don't understand the backstory of what it is. They know it's a killer clown, but they really don't know the whole backstory. So I think
Yeah, he's a
it-
fucking cosmic spider, man.
Yeah, and the turtle was all that stuff. So it's,
Well, and that just really pissed me off. Like, that Dark Tower movie did it no justice. It's like you just took like Stephen King's magnum opus and turned it into a turd. It's like,
by the way, did that show? Sorry to interrupt you. Did that show ever come out? His TV show?
well, so it went through years of reiterations. Like, but last I heard, they were going to try to bundle like a show and movie thing, and then that fell through. So like that's why we ended up with the trash movie.
Okay.
Is, and then there were a number of directors that signed up on for it, but then it's like it got stuck in like development, like purgatory. Like sometimes that happens in Hollywood.
Didn't we see a new Stephen King shows coming out that's supposed to be all based in like Derry, Maine, and it had all the different shows?
Well, that was a different Castle Rock.
Castle Rock.
So that I think has more to do with in Stephen, because Stephen King gets kind of meta. And if you, I don't want to spoil Dark Tower, but it does get meta. And like I think that was the whole point of Castle Rock, is it's just like a lot of Stephen King's stories are based in Maine, because he grew up in Maine.
And I get
so, so I think there was like that connection right there. They were able to fit a bunch of his work together.
I thought the TV show for the first season wasn't bad.
I never watched it.
It's good.
That's the reason I got Hulu originally. I never watched it.
It's good. I think it's a good watch. There's some things that I don't know because I don't know all the lore and all the stuff behind it or whatever, but it was good from a lot of people saying, I just want to see what's going to happen next. Hopefully Amazon does it something soon where they get a second season going with the next stuff, because it's supposed to touch a little bit on all Stephen King's movies. Like there's supposed to be some stuff with it and like The Shining and all that kind of shit in there. So I'm interested to see what
was that movie, or what was that show called?
Castle Rock?
Castle Rock. I need to watch that.
Yeah, it was good. Me and Laura watched it. She didn't really understand. I just wanted to watch it because I knew it was supposed to be good.
I hope season 2 has Kirsten Stewart and she eats some puss.
Well, that's actually on Pornhub right now. If you want to watch it.
They recast her with a brick wall.
That's excellent choice.
you see-
You won't be able to tell the difference.
Did you see that? You guys see that Miami Heat basketball or whatever? They opened up bidding for new ad sponsors, and
Yeah.
Bang Bros put
Yeah.
out a $10 million fucking bid in for it, and they're like in the race. For
They
winning
wanted
right
to
now.
call it the Bang Bros Center,
Yeah.
BBC for short.
Oh my god! I thought it was a joke, but it's real.
Apparently they really did it.
And apparently they're up for running right now, but they said that they're not going to put it as BBC.
There's no way they would ever let
That would be
a
PR
porn company brand
That would be
a
a
big
PR
arena.
PR nightmare.
They would
Yeah,
never
there's
allow
no
it.
way. It's supposed to be family friendly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's family friendly, all right.
Oh god.
Jeez.
I thought that sounded fucking hilarious.
That's so funny. I saw that there was like Pornhub sponsored some like trash day cleanup or something, and like released a video of like this couple having sex on a beach. There's like trash all around them. It's so stupid. It's like they're getting in on the cause.
Oh god.
Like a little mini movie.
Trash
real quick.
tag.
Hashtag trash tag.
Trash day.
That's good. Well, before we send it off, I do think if you guys haven't played Link's Awakening, I'm like literally binge playing it, and I need to stop.
It looks so good. I'm just not really excited about spending $60.
It's not going to go down for a long time. I just know that.
I know that
Nintendo
too.
is.
Yeah, dude, it's like they.
I wanted to buy the game. That way, one of you guys could have borrowed it. Because apparently they released a bunch of special editions in Europe with a bunch of cool shit with it, but it was like $60 or $70 for it, and it's like, and they sold out in fucking one day.
It's like justifying the amount I paid for it. Like I hate paying $60 for a new game too, but I fucking love Zelda, so I knew I was gonna like it. But this game, it doesn't really hold your hand as much as you think it would be, like because it's got the little kitty look and all that. But
It's got the original Super Nintendo like vibe from the Link to the Past.
But dude, it's fucking hard. Like
It is hard.
Did you?
if you look stuff up and you fly through it, you're not gonna get your money's worth. But if you take your time with it and explore and get your money's worth, like it's totally worth it.
It's definitely worth.
I remember when I played the one originally. I dicked around until you got to the water part. And I don't. Not, well, yeah. Well,
That's
it's
over
just.
time.
No. I'm talking about Link's Awakening. There's
the
the
Game
yeah,
Boy?
yeah, the
Yeah,
Game
yeah.
Boy version.
Yeah.
There's a water part where it was just like I just gave up, and I think I ended up. Wait, I wasn't able to look things up. I was a kid.
Yeah.
How
when
did
you-
I fucking?
That's what you had to get.
I swear I looked it up.
No, you get the gamer magazines that had them in there, like
Well-
Game Informer and stuff had them.
That was another reason I was so excited for this one because I never played Link's Awakening. This is like one of the only Zelda games I've never played.
I played it on Nintendo.
So good.
It is good.
Dude, it's so good. Here's the other thing that's really cool about it too. It's like, and be a spoiler, I guess, if you haven't played the game, it's like you have to do all like these side
Stop
quests.
spoiling me.
I think it's from the original, but there's like a side quest you have to do, like the build up your armor and your sword and like do all this stuff. There's so many little side quests that take a long time to figure out. So you can't just go dungeon and dungeon. I mean, you can and just skip all this shit, but it's not going to be as enjoyable, and you're not going to be. It's going to be harder to complete. So I've been taking my time. Like I go to a dungeon and then I do like a side quest, and then I'll go to a dungeon and do all the try doing our side quests. And I'm stuck on one right now. It's like I've been done it for a day trying to figure out this shit, and it's driving me nuts.
And that's the thing too, is like I get frustrated trying to figure shit out on my own, but I'm like I don't want to look it up and ruin it, so I get frustrated and I'll just turn it off because I'm like I'm just gonna come back to it with a clear head. and
That's what I do.
figure it
That's
out.
exactly what I do.
That's a good strategy.
So yeah, I would say, man, if I could, I'd just let you borrow. But it's like $60. I think this game's one game I would say is worth $60 if you like playing. And it's not like Breath of the Wild. It's not going to be as hard as Breath of the Wild. It's a little bit more enjoyable in the sense that you don't feel frustrated the whole time. I don't know. I feel like Breath of the Wild. yeah, there was lacking dungeon stuff, but I feel like it was just there's way more storyline in this one. It took way longer. This one ain't gonna take as long to beat, depending if you look stuff up or not. I've looked up one thing so far, and I was pissed off. I looked
Well,
up.
and that's the thing with Breath of the Wild is it's like I never gave it a shot, an honest shot. It's like I just immediately was just like, okay, where's all the temples? Like, and it's like it guts the game, especially an open world like that. It's like,
When you can't do the side quests.
well, it's like I just wanted to get the fucking bits to power up, so
Yeah.
I just kept looking up the temples, and it's like. I wish I wouldn't have because it
It's-
really cheapened the game.
Dude.
Well, after you figure out that there's not a lot of classic dungeons, that most of the game was designed around fucking exploring, and it's just like, well, like what's the fun when you have the goddamn treasure map?
I saw some guy doing a speed run of it. And I saw something he did, and I was like, "Holy shit!" He like literally went up into the main castle up some like side fucking thing. It's actually pretty easy to do it. And
Which
you get
game?
Breath of the Wild. And you can climb up. I can't remember what the hell it is. It's like the side of the main castle where Ganondorf is or whatever. And you get all this.
Gandalf.
Yeah, Gandalf.
Ganondorf.
Yeah, where you get all this like great loot and gear, like these nice swords and armor and all this crap, and it's like literally you can beat anything. The one thing I didn't like about Breath of the Wild is I didn't like how the ship broke. That was the only thing I didn't like about.
Oh
this
yeah, the
stuff.
durability.
of stuff. But overall, it was a great game. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Link's Awakening, that'd be the game to check out right now if you're gonna play a game. And new Call of Duty, I checked the beta because it was free online to play on PC. I just ended yesterday. I was surprised. It wasn't actually not that bad, man, for a PC game. Like, because everyone's talking about how good it is always on console. It was actually pretty fun to play. I played with like 5 kids I've been playing with, Counter Strike for a long time, and it was enjoyable. I ain't paying them fucking $60 for it. I'll tell you that right now, because it's kind of the same game, but it's still a fun game. If you like first-person shooters, I know you're not into it. I know Brand's more into it, or whatever. But if they drop the price, it would be a game I would buy and play. But I was surprised. I thought it was just going to be the same old boring shit. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do and a lot of new guns and stuff on it. So that's my game review for right now. I don't know. I ain't playing any other really new games besides that. But
That's the hottest thing out right now. I would argue is literally fucking Link's Awakening.
yeah,
I'll probably. I never finished The Witcher 3 on PC, but it's supposed to come out on Switch, and I think in October. I think I'm gonna buy that for Switch and play all the way
Dude,
through.
they've got a great schedule for Switch releases over the next year.
You
Like,
wa-
there's a lot
Breath
of
of the Wild
good shit. Yeah, I
sequel.
watched that movie
The
or
Breath of the
that.
Wild too.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm really excited about that. It's like, and that's great. It's like, give me more content. I'm perfectly fine with this
You know what they're
world.
gonna-
I
they're gonna
burned
put-
through it.
They're going
It's
to put
like,
more dungeons in it now from the fan outcry on like, Reddit and all the stuff they've listened to, and they said
just make them like the classic dungeons. Like you get an item,
puzzle
you
solving.
go halfway through a dungeon, you get an item, and then
You're
other
stuck.
things unlock in that dungeon with that item.
yes.
Yes.
Like, why?
Well, that's why Link's Awakening is good because it does all that. kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like,
There's some dungeons.
That was the formula that made me obsessed with Zelda.
I got like 2 more dungeons left. The last 2, dude. It took me 4 or 5 hours to beat because I couldn't figure it out. It was the puzzles.
And they've
were just-
gotten noticeably bigger
Yes.
as I've gone on. Like the one I'm at now, I think it's like 4 or 5, but it's huge compared to the first few. Like the first, they really like ease you into it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I feel so lost walking around. I'm just like, where the I think that's where I'm at now. I put it down because I got lost. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I know I need an item. It looks like I need a hook shot, but I don't know where the fuck it is.
Ooh, yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
because so
while.
back to your point, yeah, it doesn't hold your hand. So it's like you do have the opportunity to venture into the wrong dungeons, like and not. Yeah, I think it's like you need to hit it in a certain order, right? Like as
I
far
think
as
with this one,
items
yeah, I
to
don't
like
think-
progress.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but it gives you the free roam ability to like fuck up like that, right?
And then
You can
an
get
item and it
involved
unlocks
and
different areas in the
Yeah,
open world.
The
yeah,
one thing
yeah,
I like
yeah.
about this one too is there's a lot of dungeons you can't even progress and get to until you find out and do the side quests to get other stuff. Like there's certain things you have to. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's certain things you have to do around before you can move the dungeon. And it took me just takes you time. It takes you a couple hours to figure it out. You know, that's what's cool. And there is someone that does help you. There's like a guide in this phone booth that will give you like hints on like what you're supposed to do. And there's some owl that follows you around and tell you, hey, where you're supposed to go next and what you're supposed to do. But it doesn't really give you like the answers. Just gives you like a hint. So
you don't have a little Navi.
yeah, he gives you a little knobber.
Listen,
Oh yeah, listen. Yeah.
they had the owl and
Yeah, but yeah,
Ocarina.
Nintendo. The last Nintendo Direct, I didn't even know it was announcing until you told me, and I watched it.
I didn't either. I was just like, holy shit,
a
this is
random-
out. It's like just here's an action-packed video with new game releases.
So many good games coming out.
Holy fuck.
I honestly like. I'm excited for that to come out, and then after playing last week.
Can I just direct deposit my paycheck into my Nintendo Online fucking
You can.
shop?
You can put it in your PayPal. I'm really into arcade retro bars now again. I can't wait to go again. We need to go all again, hang
I'm
out.
never going.
Well, you have to.
I'm never
It's a
going to,
microbrewery, and I'm just gonna pour it down your throat.
Oh God.
But yeah. So
All right, play us out.
play
Play me out, Johnny.
Well, next week we're going to be in Sam's basement, touching tips and painting.
Touching tips and doing dips. Tune in next week. Ashley,
Our only
the
listener.
only listener. That's why I got a little loose with the. I don't think anybody's listening to this. It's like I'll say whatever,
Yeah.
faggot, whatever.
Yeah, Ashley likes listening to it. It's funny, I snapped her and said, hey, we're getting podcasts ready or whatever, and she goes, nerds. I said, we'll get ready to listen. She's like, oh, yeah, I'll listen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe she can be our special guest one time. We'll get a girl in here.
It's not like we're doing anything special.
we're
we're just
special.
bullshitting.
All right, well, I think it's going to wrap up the podcast. You guys are looking pretty bored.
I'm tired. I'm not bored. I'm just tired.
Dude, we should do some from California, or when I'm in California.
Do some cocaine.
I'm
You
down.
can go
I
out and
could do it
fucking.
remotely.
I can, yeah.
Just like on Discord,
Well-
do open mic.
Well, we need to get some camera shit going. I think
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll chill out on the.
My laptop has a webcam.
I actually got a 1080p camera. I got those 720p cameras right behind you. I got two of them. I could hook them
Those are
up.
perfect. Actually, do
could
you
have
want
two.
to end this?
Yeah.
We were talking
We'll
about
see you guys wrap it up next time. Never again.
we were